Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the VP Concepts YouTube channel. And if you have not seen my video since last month, I've moved. We are now in Huntington Beach, California, and I have changed my channel playlist from an audiophile in Seattle to, say that 3 times fast, to the Huntington Beach audiophile. So with that, I wanted to cover in this month's video, what cables do I use in my audio system, from the cassette player, the CD transport, the turntable, etc. What do I use? And so I don't have the system apart very often. So we're gonna go ahead and review that together today on the cables that I have, okay? And with that introduction, we will get started. It's good to be back with you guys. This is obviously, guys, a back in time video because last month's video was my move-in video, but I'm filming this as I'm putting the system together, which you guys already saw last month. But I wanted to cover this. It's kind of important, and I think you guys enjoy stuff like this. So we're gonna, while everything's apart, I'm gonna go over it. Now I did clean these with my Kontak cleaner from the UK. Matter of fact, for those of you guys who aren't familiar with it, this is Kontak, and it is incredible. It's used to clean satellite connections and space programs and stuff like that. And it's not too expensive, 40, 50 bucks. But I will put a link to that because it's really awesome. And I also don't use cotton swabs. I use foam tip swabs. So don't want any little strings hanging around with cotton strings in the product. So this, guys, is, we'll start with the speaker cables. This is my KS6063. It is Kimber Cable's Select line. It is incredible. This is a 7-foot pair. I've gone up the ladder through the years. I've had the PR and moved up from there. They actually don't make the VS anymore. The PR has been upgraded, but I had the VS. I also had the monocle, I believe. No, actually the bifocal, the bi-wired ones, the bifocal. And then I skipped the carbons on here, which I do have on my computer audio system. But I went straight to the 6063s because this is the all copper. They do make a hybrid version and an all silver version, but I really like the way that the all copper sounds, so I chose those. They are serial numbered as well, and part of their select line. And they're labeled here as well, 6063. And they do have the WBT connectors on them as well. Now, I did bananas on both sides because it's much easier. And I really like these connectors because they come out and out of the back, and then they just tighten down, and this spreads out. That spreads out. Hopefully I'm getting a good focus here for you guys. All right, so the reason I like these is this actually is TC. And I didn't have TC dedicated because for me, they were a little bit too analytical. I went from the VS to the bifocal and then the bifocal to these. So I skipped the TC line. However, that being said, this is actually 2 versions of TC combined. It is the stranded Varistrand TC combined with solid core TC. And having that solid construction in with the Varistrand, it sounds incredible. And I've had these for a while now, and I'm never going to leave these. These go with me everywhere, no matter, you know, whether I have $5,000 speakers or I move up to $50,000 speakers someday. These are going to handle that. They handle everything. Very revealing, very natural, warm but not fuzzy, detailed but not analytical. They're just a very balanced cable, okay? And these, when I got them, they were about $5,300. They're probably more now, but when I got these a few years ago, they were $5,300. Let's go over to the Interconnects now. So this is the KS1018, and you're not going to see these on the website. You're going to see the KS1016. The 6 uses 6-core copper windings. This uses 8, and this actually is sold in Europe, but it's not sold on the website here in the US. So I was able to get these, the 1018s instead of the 6s, and I'm very happy with that because they just had a much warmer sound, a fuller sound. You can Get these if you request them. They're just not on the website and advertised. It's like the secret McDonald's menu, okay? But if I can get these in focus here, I'll just show you the beautiful wood carving. These are all done by hand at Kimber Cable. I love that they take so much time to do that. Has the signal flow on there and everything else. This is 1 meter. So I've got 2 of these. The 1016s are, the 1016s are $1,180 a pair. So these are going to be more, probably around the $1,500-$1,600, I would think, because they've got 2 more copper runs in them than the 6s do. Okay, hopefully that wasn't confusing, but 1016 is the standard. These are 1018s, which run 2 more lines of copper in it. And that's for the cassette player. That's for the out. I need 2 of them. So that's for the Nakamichi, for the cassette player. For those of you who haven't seen this before, I have the CR7A. Okay, so that's record in, record out, and all that stuff. And then back here is a smaller, a shorter pair of the 1018s. Okay, there they are again, 0.25 meter with the WBTs as well. And these are for my the pre-out to the amp in on the back instead of using jumpers. I had these custom made. Could even tell you a price at this point, I don't remember, but they were about half the price of the, the 1 meter pair, or a little bit less than half the price, the 1 meter pair of these. It's just a shorter version without the wood block. See how these have the wood block? That doesn't have the wood block because I'm just using them as jumpers, okay? Over here, I have the Phono CU. I was actually the first one in the United States to get this. It was I bought the first one and actually had it on my channel back in the day, a few years ago. And I don't know if I'm going to get to focus, but there is the serial number that is engraved on there as well. The lighting's not too great. Okay, these also use WBTs. The grounding wire is pretty awesome because this is an Axios cable that they use for the ground wire. These things blew away my old Phono cables. Or actually, I believe I was using the old Interconnects, and then I switched over to the dedicated Phono. It was such a jump in quality. And it should be. This is $2,800, and this was, at the time, $1,100. So there was a difference. I did start with by the way, with the 1016s before I went to the 1018s. So I have heard the difference between them both, and it was definitely worth the upgrade. So I forgot to mention that before. Okay, so this one is also another 1018. I'm staying consistent here because I wanted to have the same connector going from the pre-out into my headphone amplifier. The headphone amplifier is the Felix Audio Echo MK2. So I needed from the Macintosh the pre-outs to go into that, and I wanted to keep everything the same. So I got another pair of those. And let me see. This is a 1/2 meter that I needed. These are each 1 meter. That's a 1/2 meter. And then the pre-outs was a smaller one. So as you can see, the whole family here is the exact same Kimber Select, the 1018s. This is the Phono CU. Keeping everything consistent. So over here, we've got a little bit of a change. It is technically the same cable as the 1018, but it's balanced and they use a different jacket for it. It's called the KS1118. It's the 1 meter balance. This is what I use for the DAC, my electric company yet. So it goes the digital out into here. And then for streaming and for CD, I use the ACM1 balanced out into the Macintosh. Okay, so that handles CD duties and streaming duties. I said duty. Okay, so that's them. And they're going to run the same price as the 1018, so $1,100 at the time. Okay, now that we're talking about pre-outs and the amplifiers and all that kind of stuff, it brings me to these. So these are 1016s. I wasn't able to go with the 1018s because there was too much going on inside the cable. They couldn't make them that way. So I had to get the 1016, which is fine. So what these are is when I go out, I don't have enough preouts. I have one going to the sub, and then I need one out from the Macintosh. All right, I need one to come into my headphone amp. I need one to go out to the cassette player. All right, because again, one's being used for the subwoofer out. So I had these custom made. So what you do here is, this is for the right channel, right? That's, you hook that up out of the pre-out of the Mac. 2 right channels. And then you have 2 left channels, okay? So one set goes to here. The other set goes to the Nakamichi, and that's what those are. Okay, so I had those custom made as well. That's the one awesome thing about Kimber Cable, is that they custom make stuff. Now, I couldn't go WBTs on this end because they're female, so the male end of the WBT goes onto this for the other interconnect, and then that is what goes into the back of the Macintosh. So I still keep the WBT connection. All right, some of you guys might not know what all this means, but I'm still throwing it at you because that's how I roll, and most of you guys know more than I do, so I just share with you what I got. Okay, so these are my jumpers, and I did an unboxing video on these a couple years ago, but unfortunately the darn thing down-resed on YouTube to like 480p, and it's awful. But these are my jumper cables for the speakers, okay? And I use the top of the line as well. And these are also KS6063s, believe it or not. I kept the same quality as the speaker cable without all the cotton windings and all that stuff. Obviously, they're not as big, but it's the same copper and same setup as the 6063s. These were like 1,100 bucks. So yeah, even though because these aren't bi-wireable, so I had to use jumpers, and I wanted to keep them consistent, so I did. All right, now over here, we have these subwoofer cables, and I went with the carbons because the carbons are almost set up like a subwoofer cable as it is. They're interconnects. They actually run a single wire and then split at the end. So I was like, hey man, that's gonna work great as a subwoofer cable. I was using some Select, the 1016s before. Let me try the carbons. And the carbons have such an incredible, they're fast, very agile interconnect. You wouldn't believe the speed and the authority of the bass going through this. With the carbon injected into the copper, it just makes everything sound very authoritative, and I loved it. So I got a 2-meter pair of those for the subwoofer cable, and that was $840 for this. Okay, and then over here I had the coaxial cable, and this isn't made anymore, unfortunately. I believe it was like, what was this called at the time? KS1012. Let me see if it's labeled on here. It might not be anymore. I don't know where the box is. 2010, something like that, KS2010. It was about $1,100 at the time. It's solid. It uses what was it called? Solid silver, black pearl silver. And it's incredible. There's a special technology embedded inside of this WBT connector that makes it sound the way it is. And it's proprietary to Kimber. They won't tell me what it is, won't tell anybody what it is. But it's a chip or a diode or something that makes it very unique. They don't make this anymore. They still carry the D60 illuminations, which is nice. This thing is next level, and I'm so glad I got it. I actually have 2 of them. I have one on backup in case this one breaks because I like them so much. But this one, I believe, $1,100 at the time. And that's for the CD player, for the Electric Company for the EMC1 MK4. This is the MK4. There's an MK5 out now that I have not tried. Okay, so that goes out to the Electric Company. And I do use well, let me show you. I do use a device on this, which has a femto clock on it. It's by iFi. You guys have seen it in my other videos. It's the Spediff iPurifier 2. This thing really takes that digital signal from the coax and reclocks it and really makes it sound a lot better. I A/B'd it multiple times to make sure it wasn't placebo where I was hearing things. And this really works. So if you guys are using a coax still, like I am, I know I'm a little old school. If you're not using I2S or analog and you're using a coax, then this purifier is pretty amazing. And then we get into the power cables. Now, I use the PK line, the PK10. This is the standard PK10, that's for the subwoofer. And then when you move over to my components, I actually use the PK14s and PK10 Palladians. That's next level. The PK14's 1690 each, and the PK10 is 1880 each. So about 4 or 5 of these. So that's what these boxes are. They actually look like pizza boxes, but they actually have my my power cables on here. This is an older one. This is the original design. I'm actually going to upgrade this into the headphone amp. I was using a standard PK10, but I'm going to use this Palladian instead. And this is your big boy. This is your PK10s, not the 14. And let me take this off real quick. Hold on. Slide this off for you guys. There we go. Sorry for the video. But this is the Palladian series. Okay, part of the Summit line. They are serial numbered. Okay, those are 1880 a piece. So over here I've got a PK10 Palladian for the Mac, PK14 for the headphone amp, a PK14 for the CD player. I'm sorry, PK10 for the CD player, PK14 for the DAC, the PK10 for the P10, same name, isn't that funny? PS Audio P10, and you get the PK10s for the Macintosh, but they are different products, obviously. So for the line conditioner, that uses it also. The only 2 items in here that don't have a upgraded power cord is the Nakamichi, of course, because that's got the factory cord from the 80s. And then the Macintosh, it comes with a proprietary power supply, so it does not have a standard connection. Okay, so everything in here uses PK10, PK14, except for the cassette player and the turntable, but they are hooked up to the line conditioner. So there you go. Okay, so that, guys, is my collection of audio cables. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Since I had it all out, all cleaned and ready to plug in, I will give you guys a shot of what this looks like plugged in, so you can see it all harmonized and working. And of course, I'll have all my cable risers out and everything I had from this Seattle setup. The only thing we did change, if you guys didn't notice over there, is the PS Audio Power Director. I'm gonna take that out, use that cable to upgrade one of my other components, the power cable, and see how the P10 sounds, the big PS Audio piece sounds, not going into the Power Director first. So I just wanted to stick with one line conditioner this time. I'll see how it sounds in the new house. And that's it. Okay guys, I'm back and everything is now hooked up. I'm going to show it to you real quick, but I wanted to let you know I found the 2 cases for the jumpers for the speakers. They're the Select series that match the KS6063s, and it is 9063. Okay, so they have a different number. It's not 6063. 9063 for these, for the jumpers, in case you guys wanted to order them for your speakers. Okay, also, I did find, one second, also the box to the digital coax cable. It was a KS2020. I knew there were 2s in it. Okay, so that's the only 2 things I didn't show you guys a minute ago, was the actual name of those. So if we come over here real quick, I got everything hooked up. Again, I'm only using one line conditioner right now. The P10, I'm not using the 3.5 power director. Got the, everything plugged in, everything hidden the way I wanted to have it be hidden, as far as seeing stuff from the listening position. And yeah, CD player's on, cassette player, everything's been tested, including the headphone amp. I turned everything on, made sure it was working. This is how it looks from the seating position now. Come back a little bit for you guys. So that's what the new listening spot's going to look like, okay? And I'm not sure if I'm going to put the plants back. I kind of like having the musical instruments there. And I do have a lot more room in the setup, man, I'll tell you, a lot more room. But anyway, that's for last month's video. For now, everything's hooked up, everything's working. There's no digital touching any analog, there's no power cables touching anything. I'm using the Shinyata dark field elevators to make sure that everything is isolated from each other and separated. You know, you can only make it so clean, but everything is in its space and its place, just like it was in the old house. And yeah, I am noticing a little bit of light hissing that I didn't hear from the other system. You know, in Seattle, that could be because of the power director missing. I'm not sure. It's not noticeable from the seating position. You have to put your ear up to it. But again, everything's just turned on and warming up. And yeah, so that's it, guys. We'll catch you on the next month's video when hopefully we'll be playing some music. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.